U.S. President Donald Trump has tapped Heritage Foundation economist EJ Antoni to lead the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The nomination comes after Trump abruptly fired BLS chief Erika McEntarfer following a weak jobs report. Trump alleged, without providing evidence, that McEntarfer manipulated data for political purposes to harm him. Her dismissal has raised concerns about the credibility and independence of U.S. economic data. Antoni has publicly praised Trump and called for changes to how the BLS collects and releases data. McEntarfer, appointed by President Biden, served more than 2 decades in government before her firing. Former BLS Commissioner William Beach said the termination could erode confidence in national jobs numbers. The July jobs report showed just 73,000 jobs added, with steep downward revisions to May and June data. Those months saw gains cut to 19,000 and 14,000, the weakest since the post-COVID recovery in December 2020. Trump declared in his social media post announcing Antoni's nomination that our economy is booming, despite BLS data pointing to a slowdown in recent months.
Fired the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics because I think her numbers were wrong, just like I thought her numbers were wrong before the election. Days before the election, she came out with these beautiful numbers for Kamala, I guess Biden/Kamala, and she came out with these beautiful numbers trying to get somebody else elected. Then right after the election, I think on the 15th, November 15th, she had an $800,000 or $900,000 massive reduction.
Mr. President, on the monthly jobs report, going forward, why should anyone trust the numbers?
Well, that's and if you're right. No, you're right. Why should anybody trust numbers? You go back to election day. Look what happened 2 or 3 days before with massive, wonderful job numbers, trying to get him elected or her elected, trying to get whoever the hell was running. Because you go back and they came out with numbers that were very favorable to Kamala, okay? To trying to get him elected, trying to get her elected. And then on the 15th of November or thereabouts, they had an 800,000 or 900,000 overstatement reduction right after the election. It didn't work.
So
because you know who won, John? I won.
But here's the thing: your supporters have had issues with these numbers. Now that you've and you've had and now that you're,
we're doing so well. I believe the numbers were phony, just like they were before the election, and there were other times. So you know what I did? I fired her.
Right. And so
you know what? I did the right thing.
If any government official going forward is presenting data or information you don't like, should they fear for their job?
I've always
You're gonna
had
fire
a problem with these numbers. You know, I was thinking about it this morning. Before the numbers that came out, I said, who is the person that does these numbers? And then they gave me stats about before the election. I had a similar problem. I mean, she gave out numbers that were so good for the Democrats. It was like unbelievable. And then right after the election, she corrected those numbers with, I think, almost 900,000 corrections. I think nobody had ever seen anything like it. Well, today she did the same thing with the 253,000, whatever the number was. No, we need people that we can trust. I mean, your question is a very good one.
Right.
We need people we can trust. We had a very good weekend in many respects. We're seeing phenomenal numbers in terms of the business we do with other countries and the business we do within our own country. I mean, really phenomenal numbers. We'll be announcing a new statistician sometime over the next 3 or 4 days. We had no confidence. I mean, the numbers were ridiculous, what she announced, but that was just one negative number. All of the numbers seem to be great. And so we'll see how that comes out. And if you remember, just before the election, this woman came out with these phenomenal numbers on Biden's economy. Phenomenal numbers. And then right after the election, they announced that those numbers were wrong. And that's what they did the other day. So it's a scam, in my opinion.